Hey guys, good morning, welcome to another live session of Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.
As a trader,
Recording in progress.
Hi everybody, welcome to Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Ron, my partner is Dave. Welcome guys, it's just after 1 p.m. Eastern. It is the first day of March. It's March the 1st. It's Friday. Good Friday, happy Friday guys, Juma Mubarak, welcome everybody. So thanks for joining. Guys, we're going to go for about 2 hours just after 3 p.m. Eastern. And today what we're going to do, we're going to analyze the markets today. We're going to look at news and we're going to look at 3 securities today on a higher time frame analysis. We're going to start off with on the monthly because it's a new month. So things are exciting right now in the markets, guys. We're going to look at NASDAQ right now. NASDAQ is pumping new all-time highs up here, 18,260 currently. We'll look at gold right now on the 5 minutes. It is performing a little bit of a double top. We'll see if it can come down and maybe close below this structure and continue to push down, or just maybe a pullback and continue to drive. Gold is exciting right now. We hit 2,085, almost 2,100. Recall that our all-time high on gold is 2,150. We're not too far away from it. And then guys, we'll save the best for last. We'll do an analysis on Bitcoin, BTC USD. It's exciting right now. We're hovering around 62,000 US per coin, and we'll do an analysis on this. We'll talk about the halving that's coming in April of 2024. Another 4 to 6 weeks, we'll have our halving. Some of you guys are not familiar with what this is. I'll kind of just give a brief little explanation on this, and we'll talk about also a little bit of crypto, and we're going to get into a little bit of crypto signals as well coming at SST here. And guys, on Bookmap, it's on NASDAQ right now, so you can see we're still pumping. We're above the VWAP. 15-minute time slices, 12:15, 12:30, 12:45, 1 p.m. we just started. It is continuing to make higher highs and higher lows. Current depth of market is all the way to the top of the current order book. Bulls are in control right now. Cumulative volume delta is positive 800. If you are trying to short NASDAQ, just be very, very careful today. Every pullback is continuing to push. We don't have any real bearish structure breaking right now. We've got gold now dropping a little bit from that double top, and then we'll review Bitcoin. Okay, guys? So welcome everybody. Thank you everyone for joining on Zoom and YouTube. We appreciate all of you guys. Welcome Serkan. Welcome Ramon. Welcome. I appreciate you guys. Tyler, what's up, bro? Welcome, Noor. Thank you for joining. Sang, thank you for joining. Kosova Mirdita. Dovim per poshim per jashtyav korik eregusht dovim. Do Takumi, okay. Welcome, Kosov. Lisa, yeah, we're just starting right now. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate all of you guys. Trap phone, welcome. Juanito, thank you for joining, bro. Appreciate you as well. Daniela, thank you for joining. And everyone on YouTube, appreciate all of you guys as well. All of you guys that are always regularly tuning in. Our cow, it's my time. Thank you. And Akash, thank you. Forex Club, Tony Gold, all of you guys. Thank you guys for joining, okay? Appreciate everybody. And if I miss your names, I'm sorry, guys, but we got some work to do. We only have 2 hours on this call. I'd love to give everyone shout outs, but we got to keep going, okay, guys? So let's just continue. Before we even look at the charts, I know you guys are trading. I know you guys are charting. I know you guys are doing fantastic. Just keep an eye on your charts because I will be going through some news first, and then we'll get into the charts individually, and then we'll do a thorough top down on all of these 3 securities, and then we'll go from there. Okay, guys? And I can only stay just till after 3 o'clock because then I have to leave to go pick up my kids from school. If you guys are going to continue to trade in Power Hour on a Friday, it's the first Friday of March. Be very, very careful when you're trading. And again, I have to reiterate this every single time we start these calls. If you've exceeded a daily goal, if you're on top of your weekly goal, if you've had an exceptional month of February trading, reduce your risk and go into the weekend on a positive note. Don't do anything silly. Do not over leverage your account. Don't go all in on a silly trade. Just go take it little bit by little bit, okay guys? So let's take a look at quickly Forex Factory today. We had a busy day in the markets. It all started in London, pre-London, lots of European news. We went through that. A lot of the European news was all low impact yellow folders. We don't have any high impact red folders, but still a lot of folders can cause volatility. It doesn't matter if they're red, orange, or yellow. Just we have a lot of back-to-back folders coming out of all of Europe. We've got Spanish news, Italian news, French news, German news. So there's British news. There's a lot of news across Europe coming through this morning. And then we moved into Wall Street. Wall Street we didn't have too much news. 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Normally we have news, red folders, North American news on these mornings. We didn't have anything today. More importantly, we had 10 a.m. We had two back-to-back USD red folders, ISM Manufacturing PMI and revised University of Michigan Consumer Report. And we also had our ISM Manufacturing prices. Now, a lot of you guys are asking, why are the markets continuing to pump? Why is gold making such a big move? This could have been a factor at 10 a.m. this morning because a lot of this has to do directly correlated with the US dollar. And if you can click on each one of these individual folders, ISM Manufacturing PMI, if we just read it right over here, the usual effect, actual greater than forecast is good for the US currency. So when we're looking at the actual forecast, 49.5, the actual number that came out was 47.8. So that was below the forecast. So it's not going to be that good for the US dollar. The US dollar probably sold off at this folder. And also then you have another back-to-back. You have a revised University of Michigan Consumer Report. So what is the Consumer Report? It's right over here. It's a financial confidence is a leading indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for a majority of overall economic activity. So it's a survey of about 500 consumers, which asks respondents to rate the relative level of current and future economic conditions. So this is an important folder that we have coming through. Always you'll see this at 10 a.m. revised University of Michigan Consumer Report. Again, actual then greater forecast is good for currency. It was red below our forecast, 79.6. It actually came out 76.9. That is not good for the US dollar. And then finally we had our ISM manufacturing prices folder come out. Again, if you don't know what it is, quickly click on it. You can see what it is. Level of diffusion based on surveyed purchasing managers in the manufacturing industry, and actual then greater than forecast is good for our currency. We were forecasted to have 53.5. The actual number came out was 52.5 red. So all three of these folders are not the greatest for US dollar. That's why the US dollar probably had a little bit of a drop, and it was bearish. And then gold had a little pump out of here. The markets are rocketing. The markets are not just rocketing because of the US dollar. The NASDAQ is probably pushing up because if we look right now, QQQ I just got a notification, 445 just hit an all-time high. AMD, guys, so when we look at the semiconductors right now, AMD is up 4.35% at almost $201. And also the big horse, NVIDIA, is up 3.5% at $819 all-time highs. So maybe the semis are carrying the tech sector and also NASDAQ, and that's why we're continuing to push for all-time highs. So if you're thinking of shorting it, you have to be very careful. We talked about this the last week where you're trying to short a train. You have to be careful because you will get run over. Same with gold. If gold continues to push, you're counter trading a sell, but you might get in, get out. If it still wants to go, you got to allow that train to keep moving. You got to kind of get out of its way, trade with it. If you're going against it, if you're counter trading it, you might have to do quick pip and dip moves. Otherwise, you could get caught and you might be holding or a possible stop loss. So try to the best of your ability to trade with the trend of the market if you can. Okay, so that's today's news. And then when we go into next week, guys, just looking forward to Monday real quick. Monday, we got some Swiss CPI month over month at pre-London, some London news. I like to look more at 8:30 and 10 o'clock for some US news. We don't have much. So Monday, again, it might be a typical Monday. Careful trading on Monday. It's our first Monday of the new monthly candle, so be careful over here. Earnings this morning. Okay, Earnings Whispers. This is a really good website. Just going through it. Plug Power. This is EV. You can trade this corporation individually with options or equity market. You can buy shares of the company. You can be a shareholder of this company. But some of these companies that we trade over here or look at consist of the actual index that we trade. I trade US 30, Dow Jones. I'm starting to trade a little bit more NASDAQ. So I want to keep an eye on more of the tech related stocks, like the last week where it was Nvidia. If I wasn't aware of when Nvidia was having their earnings, I probably would have missed out on the big bull run on NASDAQ. I probably would have seen it, but wondered why it's moving. So it's good to know what's going on in here. We don't have anything this evening, maybe one company right over here at 5:30, but Friday evening, normally light, markets are closed. Okay, guys, so this is our Discord signals that we do send out. We're going to send more crypto signals coming in the next little bit. This was a gold trade setup. Right over here, and I actually took this one, made a good profit right here. So the signal came out while it was down in here. We allowed it to pick up the liquidity and come up. We're looking for a first bar or a bar to close in this blue area above 2054, and there was the first bar that closed. And then if you follow again your price action, you got an ignited bullish candle with a low wick. As soon as it took out these wicks, that's where I bought in. I placed my stop loss, 50% of this bullish candle, and I took advantage of this move. Did I get the full 300 pip here? No, I didn't. I exited a little bit and scaled out, but still made a good profit, day's profit above here on gold. So guys, congratulations for you guys that took the gold signal and banked a little bit of pips, and continue working with the signals as confluence with your own trading, because I know a lot of you guys were also bullish on gold before the news was even released. Because so that, guys, and continue in the Discord sharing information with yourselves and charting and everything like that, and you guys are doing great in there. Everybody on YouTube, thank you guys for joining. I pinned at the top of the YouTube channel, this is our free Telegram channel, just over 7,000 subscribers, and it's growing daily. So we appreciate you guys for that. And this is what we send out. Like, this is what I was just saying, crypto alerts coming soon. This was one on Ethereum, so it's already running just 20 pips, looking for buys above this area and pushing up, just like all of our other signals, but we will be incorporating a little bit more crypto. Guys, this is our last 15 trades on the SST kill shot after a set file update with our EA. You can see that there's a lot of blue in there. There is 2 red, but obviously that's trading. There's going to be some red with trading. I took a loss yesterday as well in my trading, but I made up for it today. So that's trading, guys. You're going to have some losses. You're going to have some bigger wins. The goal is consistency, to have more wins than losses, but you're going to have to accept losses. That's the nature of the game of trading. Unless you're a perfect trader, congratulations, and I applaud you. And you're like one of a kind. If you're a 100% trader, man, you need to share with us what you're doing, because that's something special. We don't even know traders on Wall Street that are 100% traders. So you're doing something exceptional, and you're doing something really well. So if you are that 100% trader, God bless, and continue doing what you're doing. And guys, over here, this is going to be maybe our last day, or maybe tomorrow, Saturday, to join this. So this is our 3-month membership with SST. It is normally $149, $50 per month, but we have it now set for $99. So you save $50 to get 3 months with us, and that includes everything: the signals, the Discord with the group, all of the live Zoom sessions, the webinars, all of the education we have on our website, everything that SST offers. You get it all in here for $99.99. But we also include now a bonus boot camp that we're going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. It's an order flow 4-day boot camp. You have 3 days of theory, and then the 4th day will be live with Bookmap, and we'll break it down. We'll ask questions about it. We'll show how things are moving in the futures market. And so it's an interesting 4 days boot camp if you want to learn a little bit about order flow, dark pools, about volume profile, and all of the footprint charts, and everything that we're going to discuss is in here. Okay, so guys, use this promo code if you do want to register. There's limited spots, and it's going to be closed this weekend. So this is like, I recommend, if you want to join SST, not only do you get a 3-month at a discount, but you get included in the boot camp as well. So guys, there's the promo code, and please join us. Everyone else on, can you join this free Telegram to get all of the promos, giveaways, and everything we do at SST? This is our website. Don't fall for scammers, please. This is our YouTube channel. This is the EA MQL5 if you're interested, what I just mentioned right over here. And if you, excuse me, if you're interested in a passing company to pass your prop firms, check out tradepassing.com. Okay, so let's continue to move right into the charts now. Thank you guys. Sorry for all of that, but I just got to get it out of the way. So now we're on NASDAQ. Okay, so we just topped up, down. I'm just going to place a yellow line just so we know where the resistance is. And you see what I was saying about gold. There was a double top, and it did come down, where it did retrace, but again, did any red bar close below the structure? No, it came up as a hammer. You got another ignited bar with no wick. That's a clean scalp, and continue to move. Small pullback, low wicks, continue push. Like right now, you cannot try and short these things that are continuing to pump right now. They're not closing below any structure right now. Okay, so let's go full chart on NASDAQ. Break down NASDAQ, then we're going to break down gold, then we'll break down Bitcoin, okay? So let's look at NASDAQ. So what I was saying before we started the call, AMD, Advanced Micro, is up 4.25% right now, okay? It's hovering with $201 per share. Put this on your watch list, guys. It's a really good equity. And also NVIDIA. If you guys have been sleeping under a rock lately, NVIDIA is up 3.33% right now. It's hovering like around $817, $818 a share. These are your horses, guys. These are the ones that are continuing to push up NASDAQ to all-time highs. So let's take a look on the monthly where we are on NASDAQ, okay? Okay, so yeah, this is like if you've been investing since 2007, 8, yeah, you're doing really good. If you were a holder back here in 2010, you're doing exceptionally well. Okay, so this was our previous all-time high up here in January of 2022. We did dip down, and then it got right bought back right in and continued to move. So you can see our new all-time highs. When have they been? They've been the last 3 months. Okay, so this is our new monthly candle that just started today. That's March. There's February, there's January, there's December of last year, and November. So you know when I was talking always on the daily, this started from Halloween, October 31st, and moving into November. So you see how long this bullish run has been, and it's continuing. So, and it's not really, I don't see any red bars closing below any structure yet. It's still pushing. If you look on the RSI on the monthly, there is bearish divergence. If you look at from this peak, from this previous all-time high in December 2021 to where we are right now, it is making a higher high, all-time high. And if you look at your strength indicator, normally when we look at RSI, from this peak, previous high right here, it is making a lower high. So there is clear bearish divergence on the monthly. This is like short sellers, they look for bearish divergence. But you see how it could still get you caught if you're trying to short this thing, because it's still pumping. So we have to kind of physically wait for maybe a monthly candle to maybe close below 50% of this bar right here in order to see something develop. I don't even see where it's been a top yet to actually come down to form one peak yet. This thing could continue to go. It might pull back a little bit, then go up again for maybe a double top, then eventually drop. And this might be midsummer, this might be in the fall, and then we have elections coming up in November. So you can see how the market is still really, really bullish March of 2024, and we're still pushing. Like look at our, we didn't even retrace down anything. So we are pushing heavily on the monthly candle. Okay, so are we clear on this? Monthly of NASDAQ is a bullish move. You have to be very careful shorting this thing. If you're trying to short the all-time highs, you will get your account blown up unless you have big account or big margin to hold this thing. But you have to be careful. Okay, so monthly, everything is suggesting is bullish. Now let's break it down into the weekly. The weekly, now we get a little bit of a bigger picture. Okay, so now we can see the weekly candles. I can see the first red candle pullback was the beginning of the year, January of 2021, or sorry, 2024. We had our first week was bearish, and then it kind of got engulfed right back up, and we continued to push for new all-time highs. Then we had another red week. It was February 12, right here where we just came down. We were barcoding green, red, green, and now the new month, we're continuing to redistribute the volume on the weekly, so it's continuing to drive through here. And if we look at the overall run, this was our previous all-time high resistance right here. And if you draw your zone across and continue to bring it across, like over here, this zone, if I make it red, which it was red right over here, and continue to bring it to the left of the chart and drag it across, okay, red, and now you see we closed above it, kind of when we consolidated right in it, red, green, and continue to move above it. So this, I'm going to make it as a big green zone now. If we ever do come back into here, I want to see if the market will hold, and it's around 16,500 block, and we're continuing to push up on the weekly. So even the weekly, individual weekly candles are continuing higher highs, consolidating, continuing to push. Now let's break this weekly down into the dailies. Okay, so now we get a little bit a little bit more clear picture on the daily of how we're moving. But remember, all-time high, we don't know where this thing can go. Okay, we have no idea where this thing can go. So now what we got to use is a little bit of psychological numbers, like how we trade. Well, how I trade, I use psychological numbers. So when I don't know where things can go, I use a psychological number. We're trading at 18,282. So my first psychological number is 300. So maybe 18,300. I know we're very close to it. We're only maybe 17, 18 pips away from it, but I'm going to just place a line around this level, 18,300, and I'm going to place a yellow line up there just to give me reference. If it's coming up there, I know it's coming to a psychological level, and I do need to watch this area. If it continues to push, it depends what type of trader you are. If you're more of a hourly 4-hour swing trader, maybe you want to identify 100 pip increments, so 18,300. Your next level might be 18,400, 18,500. If you're more of a scalper, more of a 5-minute, 15-minute trader, maybe you want to start to identify 50 pip increment zones. Your 18,300, your 18,350, your 18,400, your 18,450, so on and so forth. And then if you're like me, you're more of a small-time scalper, you're looking for 5, 10, 15 pip scalps, you're more scalping on the 1-minute, 5-minute candles, then you go 25 pip increments. So after we get to 18,300, maybe 18,325, 18,350, 18,375, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's just now measure and identify what is going on. So every dip when we came down, next pullback, higher low, next pullback, higher low, next pullback, 2 wicks, higher low, next pullback, higher low, continuing to push. If we look at each successive high, we got a higher high, higher high, higher high, and today we have a new higher high. So overall trend, when we're looking for a trend, it's bullish. Okay, the overall trend, even if you do just a little trend line, if you have to, you can see right there, kind of right there, and continuing, we're ascending like an airplane. We're continuing to move up and create new higher highs. But we do have a little bit of structure built over here. For the last week while we were consolidating, these are the individual daily candles. So this was last Thursday, Friday, we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we had 1 week of consolidation. So we do have an area right over here where this used to be an area of resistance, red. Let me just change this color right over here. We might be getting into March, might be the most interesting month coming up. Like, it's going to be very interesting. So you see how it was all resistance, and then we start to close near the high and then start to break out of here, and we're continuing to push. So what I do with this zone, I'm going to stretch it across where I'm going to bring it into the end of March. Okay, we just started. Today's March 1st. I'm going to bring it into the end of March. It's my new static zone, but I'm going to change the color to green now. Okay, so right now we have volume above. So if we ever do retrace back down, if it comes down red, 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 I'd like to see if we're going to continue to hold this 18,000 block. That's what it is, 18,000 psychological number. I want to see if we can continue to hold this and continue to see if we can make some new highs. If we start to close red below this level, then maybe things might start shaping up where we might see a retracement to come back down a little bit, and maybe we got to test each one of these areas. We got to test this area right here. So in these areas that I like to get tested, I draw like a yellow line. Okay, this area. Next level to test are these two bodies right over here, the last dips in the market before it hits the bigger box. So these are different zones to see if we come down to. If we come down here, we'll see if buyers step in and bring it right back up. If we kind of close below this zone and retest this and get rejected, we'll probably have a high probability pushing down to this zone. If same thing, if we don't find our buyers here to bring it back up, if it closes below here, my retest this, and then we come into our bigger green zone, and this is where we see if we find our big buyers waiting in here to take the market up. But there's no sells yet. We haven't even push down on our daily candle yet. Look how aggressive and bullish this thing is. Now let's follow our daily volume. Okay, so continuing to follow all of our volume over here. When we closed yesterday, we made a high, but we couldn't take out this previous high from last Friday. They sold off just a little bit, but you see it's all of the majority of the volume is near the high, really close to the high. Look how they opened today's candle. It came down red just a little bit. Did we come down into 50%? No. They came up with a higher low, so they picked up the volume quickly, and they came up right back up to test yesterday's high, and they took it out, and more importantly, the weekly high right here from last Friday. And then you see in our charts here, there's nothing but a black chart. So if you extended this box across, right there, remember this is all-time high territory. So as soon as we broke last Friday's high, the limit is endless where this thing can go. There's no resistance, right? So you see how it just filled and filled. Look at the big green candle continuing to push, 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 push. Even right now, if I place a purple line right at the high of the candle, we are basically right at the high. But I'm going to keep it maybe at this 300 level to see what will happen up there. Okay, so I'm going to place a purple line at our low of the day. Right there, purple for our low of the day, just in case if we ever come back down there. I want to know where our low is. It's right near 18,000, 17,995, and we continue to push up. I can place a purple line right now at the high, but you see that there's no wick up there. Okay, so if I zoom right into this daily candle, we're right at the high. There's barely any wick. If I just if I just place a purple line right now, right at the body, that is our high right now. It could, look how it just broke. It could continue. I want to see if it can come up to this yellow line, 18,300 level. I want to see if it can trade in there and see what happens. Now, if maybe on this Friday we push down a little bit, maybe there is some selling pressure come in this afternoon, maybe during power hour and the market sells off a little bit, there is some profit taking, then what we got to look for is if we retrace back down, number one, let's target where 50% of the volume is. Where we opened, where the volume is, half of it is maybe like right around here. Okay, and I'm just eyeballing, I'm just looking at it. That could be maybe where half the volume is. And I'm going to place again another yellow line for a daily point of interest. And then what I do is I do a green box maybe just a little bit above and a little bit below to kind of maybe, if the line is not 100% accurate, maybe this will make it a little bit more accurate with giving a little bit of benefit of the doubt, a little bit above the yellow line, a little bit below. And if this comes down red, 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 and it kind of comes into my green box, this is where ideally I'd like to see where the buyers will hold this area and maybe push it back up or close above 50% of this body so that this momentum can maybe carry forward into Monday and next week. If the sellers bring it back down and close it below this green box, then I know that maybe next week it might open bearish and then take out the 50% remaining of the candle and then push it down. Okay, so this would be an area of reference that I'm watching up here to see if it ever does come down here. And I know a lot of traders like to look at RSI right now. RSI on the daily, okay, it is also showing bearish divergence. Each successive high, a high here, higher high, a new higher high, and then if we look at our RSI peaks, it's making a high, a lower high, and a lower high. So if you draw like trend lines, you can see that there's bearish divergence on the daily, but it's not breaking down yet. So this is a false signal of bearish divergence. It was a false signal on the monthly. It's a false signal on the weekly. It's a false signal on the daily. Remember what we said last week. NVIDIA does not care about your technical indicators. NVIDIA does not care about RSI. NVIDIA cares about numbers, revenue, earnings per share. They made $22 billion last quarter, $2 billion more than projected. It doesn't matter what RSI is saying. Right now, the markets are buying this up, and they're buying it up. And you either need to be buying with the move. If you're shorting, yes, there is some opportunity to short, but you might have to have you got to know to get in and out, because it might just be a small pullback and continue to pump. Okay, so today, right now, we have 3 hours and 26 minutes to go, and it is a full-blown bullish candle. Yes, it could retrace a little bit, but this thing could still continue to pop out of here. Okay, so let's now move into the 1 hour. Look at the 1 hour blocks. Like, look at the last. Look how beautiful these 1 hour candles are. My goodness, I haven't seen hourly candles look this beautiful in months, guys. Look how beautiful this is. Okay, even right here at 10 a.m. if you drew your hourly resistance line right here at 18,125, the hourly candle closed above, and there's no resistance above here. This is all-time high territory. And then if you just used your fundamentals that you learned and your technicals from a candlestick, short pullback, pop the wick, you could have bought right here, stop loss maybe 50% of this bar, or maybe below structure, depending how long you want to hold for, and you could have continued to ride this up. And it is strictly higher high, higher low, respecting 50% of the bar. A new higher high. Look at this one. This one is pretty much ignited right now, okay? So we are in a 5-bar uptrend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All starting at 9 a.m. Wall Street today, okay? So big move, pumping out of here. Hourly, obviously it's overbought. Look at the RSI, 78 and a quarter. Does that mean we start selling right now just because RSI is showing me how overbought it is? If you do, you're in trouble. Look at the last bars, okay? So you have to be very careful right now. Let's see maybe where this thing peaks, where it pushes down. Maybe we need to see a double top. We don't even have a single top yet, so you have to be very careful, okay? So hourly move is very strong. This is what I like to look for on the hourly. This was the previous high resistance. I always use a white line for hourly to signify this area, 18,122. So that was previous hourly resistance. You had this bar at 10 a.m. close well above it and continue to push above it. Now we're trading in a whole new zone. We're nowhere near this white line. So what we got to do is now focus on the last maybe couple bars. I can focus on the bar we're on right now, but also this one. We opened and closed at noon. I want to recognize where's 50% of this bar, just in case we retrace down. Okay, so half of it is approximately right around there. So I place a white line, 50% of this bar, and it's 18,230. So if it comes down red, 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 I'd like to see maybe the buyers step in and hold it right here. If they don't hold it here, then it might close below here, retest this, then I could maybe possibly short it down to the green box. But it's continuing to push up. So now, like more for scalping this afternoon, what about 50% of the candle we're on? There's still 23 minutes to go. We opened, here's the volume. Half of it is right around here, 18,270. So I'm just going to draw a white line right here for reference. And we're still holding above 50% of this white line. So I'd like to see if the sellers can close it below this white line before anything to look for a potential sell. Because if not, maybe pullbacks and it's continuing to drive. Okay, so Hourly, are we all on the same page that this thing is extremely overbought, but it's still very, very bullish? Okay, you have to understand that. Otherwise, if you're trying to short this thing and you're wondering why you're getting caught and you're wondering why you're in drawdown, it's because this thing is running first of the month. It's March. Semis are on fire right now. I'm telling you, AMD is up 4.4% as I'm speaking, and Nvidia is 3.5%. So as I'm speaking, these things are continuing to drive. So you have to be very careful. I don't want to see anyone shorting on a Friday right now and wondering why they're in drawdown or wondering why they blew up an account. Because if you do, look at what you're shorting against. Okay, if it's not that clear to you, then you have some work to do this weekend. You got to know how to identify what a trend is. Now let's go to the lower time frames, so 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to show you. If you're trying to short, like maybe scalp on the 5 minutes, you only have small opportunities. You got a small window to work with. Like right here where it came down. That's it. 50% into that, and then you got to do something. Otherwise, it's coming right back up. If you tried to short these 3 red candles, yeah, they can come down for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 pips, but you got to do something. Even these bars that came down, but they're continuing to move. Look at all the spin tops, spin top, spin top. I don't see anything. So even on the 5 minutes, now we're getting, you see the candles are getting a little bit thinner. They're getting a little bit like thinner in here, but then they continue to get injected. They get a little thinner. They continue to get injected. Maybe we've got to start to see some thinner candles approach this yellow line, maybe a little bit of a pullback. But ultimately, I want to see what will happen below this white line, 18,270. So below here, I kind of draw like a green box. The green box is for me, just to give me a heads up that Ron, be careful. We're looking, unless red candles can close below here, then maybe we might sell back down to this white line. And then it could possibly come right back up. So if I'm trading from here down to the white line, I take my ruler, I measure the counter trade down to here, and it's approximately 35 pips. If it comes down to that white line, I might have to exit the entire trade. It might only be halfway to 18 pips. It might impulsively break and come down a little more, maybe to 50% of that green candle. It might be a 60 pip scalp, but regardless, I have to respect this area when it gets down there. And if it can break, that's great. But if not, this thing is still running. I can try and consolidate this as much as I can. Maybe if I see it sell red below the purple line, I could potentially sell from the purple line down to the green box, if that's what I'm willing to do. If that's the type of sell I want to take, from down here down to there, and maybe collect 20 pips. I don't know if I want to do that right now, but maybe I save it for later on, maybe if there is a little Friday sell-off. But even just drawing yourself a trend line from now, like right here, a 5-minute trend line, you see it is still bullish. It's still making higher highs, higher lows. Nothing is really breaking down right now. I don't even have an area yet where I can consolidate this thing because it's just making higher highs and higher lows. I was going to try and maybe consolidate this zone, but you see it kind of continued to break out of here. So my next zone, maybe I want to see where this thing will consolidate, is the zone right above me. It's the yellow line that I picked at around 18,300, that psychological all-time high area. And I'm going to use the purple line, which was the previous high, but continued to make new higher highs. Okay, so I'm going to use that maybe as reference to see where we can maybe possibly form a top. If I look at the RSI, okay, look at the 5 minutes. There, it's like a plane taking off. It was right here at 77. It went higher to 81. As we're speaking, it's at 85. So we're clearly overbought on every single time frame. There's not one time frame you can look at on NASDAQ starting from the monthly, overbought, weekly, overbought, daily, overbought, 4-hour, overbought, hourly, overbought, 30-minute, overbought, 15-minute, overbought, 5-minute, overbought. It's overbought, okay? So that on a normal day, yeah, we would be looking for sells. But you have to be careful today. Like, look at it. Look how strong this is. Cumulative volume delta is 2100 positive, continuing just to eat away at the offers. And short sellers are getting caught with their shorts off. Like they're getting like, wow. Like, this is nonstop. Like, look at it closed near the high of the candle, and you've got an ignited bar with no wick. There's the pop and continuing to drive. Like, this thing is out of control. Am I the only one like excited about this thing or excited how these markets are moving? Do any of you guys have any pensions, 401k, IRA, Roth in the United States, in Canada, RRSPs, mutual funds? If you have any long investments, you are laughing right now, okay? Because markets are rewarding you guys with all-time highs. I don't know if you guys understand what this means to your retirement, but markets are just driving. You guys should have a big smile on your face if you guys are retiring. But wow, like this thing is, you cannot hit the sell button right now, guys, okay? So just please don't hit the sell button unless you're doing little tiny micro sizing and you're willing to hold it and but if you're trying to short this thing, you're in trouble, okay? I'm sorry to say that. You have to either, if you're in it, that's great. And then another question is, do you want to continue to buy these highs? This is where you have to be careful. You can if you want, or you can just wait for maybe a pullback and then try to get back in if it continues to move, okay? So clearly we are pushing. If we look at our EMAs, the 9 EMA, look at it, the 9 EMA is just parabolic. Like where have you ever seen a 9 EMA look like this before? It's just parabolic. The 200 EMA, like it's not even on my chart. Where's the 200 EMA? Look at where the 200 EMA is. The 200 EMA is over here at 18,111. We're at 18,300. So don't even worry about the 200 EMA today. Just our EMAs, look how far they're diverging from each other. So this is a big bullish move. Be very careful, okay? And congratulations to you guys that are in buys on NASDAQ. This is a historical move, guys. You guys should maybe remember this. You know, when I remember trading back in the early 2000s, I remember trading in the financial crisis in 2007, 8, 9, 10. There was opportunities of a lifetime down there. This is another historical event, guys. You're trading in all-time highs. So this is something you're going to remember for years to come. If you continue trading. So cherish the moment, enjoy it, guys. Hopefully you guys are on the right end with some buys, and just be careful, okay? So I'm just going to give this chart to everyone in Zoom. We're going to move on to gold now. Gold is exciting as well. Everything is exciting right now. Maybe we're going to hit Bitcoin all-time highs. We're not too far from Bitcoin all-time highs very, very soon too. This is exciting, guys. Okay, so everyone in Zoom, there is a TradingView link. That's NASDAQ. Careful with it. Okay, we'll leave NASDAQ right over here to the left of our chart. It's just this parabolic move over here. We'll continue to watch it together. Gold is continuing to pump to 2088. Bitcoin is continuing to go. Guys, the markets are bullish right now. Okay, so for every security I have on my chart right now. Let's take a look at some analysis on gold now, okay? So all of the gold traders, hit the likes on YouTube, guys, if you're ready to move on to gold, okay? We're going to look at gold in the book right now, GC, J4, COMEX, at Rhythmic. Okay, so gold, look at this picture of gold. This looks completely different than NASDAQ. Look at this, okay? Look at the divergence of the cumulative volume delta on gold. Look at this, okay? Is it just me looking at this, or do you see just this slope coming down? Okay, we are negative 6,400 right now on gold, okay, where we were positive 2,000. And gold is still pushing through, okay? So remember, gold doesn't care about RSI. Gold doesn't really care about these type of indicators. These indicators are nice to use, but you see, if we just follow an indicator alone, we're lost. We're going to lose money. What this is telling us is there is a huge market player in the market right now absorbing a lot of this gold buying, and is either holding at a major loss or has the liquidity to continue to absorb and redistribute all of this at at a different time and date, maybe near the end of the day, maybe next week, maybe next month, but we don't know when. So all we know is the sellers are trying to push it down, but then the buyers are bidding it right back up. The sellers are trying to push it back down, the buyers are asking to continue to trade up here. So the buyers keep asking to trade higher and cannot kind of transact with the seller down here. We are currently above the VWAP, the volume weighted average price, and I know everyone's going to say, well, Ron, look at all of the negative cumulative volume delta. But that's the same thing like saying, well, look at NASDAQ, how long it's been overbought for. Again, these are just indicators. They're here to help us trade. They're here to guide us, but they're not here to tell us to just hit the sell button just because they give false signals. It's just like any other indicator, okay? So we got to use a little bit more common sense and not just trade off of indicators. We got to continue to look at the heat map, where the big blocks are. Maybe if gold approaches this level in the futures market, 21,000, that psychological number, maybe that's where the big seller is going to redistribute. Maybe if we get some volume closing below, transacting below this VWAP, then maybe we will push down. But even looking at the traditional candlesticks, I don't see any red candles closing below any critical structure yet, okay? So let's continue now with gold. Move to the monthly, okay? I'm going to do monthly on every single chart to get started today. I think everybody needs to see this, okay? So the bigger picture of gold, okay? So it's like a big cup and handle. How many of you guys were trading gold back over here in 2000s, early 2000s? This was when I was telling my dad to buy gold at 250 an ounce, right around here. In year 1999, 2000, I made some big moves over here. I was 18, 19 years old. I was telling my father to buy gold at this time. He listened. He did well. But since then, look at it. Just keep moving. Pullbacks continue to move. This was our previous all-time high in 2011, where we hit 1900 an ounce. Then there was a big pullback back down to here to around roughly 1100, 1000, and this was 2015. We continued to drive. I know most of you guys were part of this 2020 run where we hit that. Remember 3 all-time highs where we had up here? Our first all-time high we had, this was where we were trading live. We were shorting the wick on this call. This was August of 2020, and then we dipped back down to this area. Strong support in 1680. It came back up for that second time to hit that all-time high. It was right over here. This was March of 2022. We couldn't close above it, couldn't break it. It continued to come back down. This was a good time to maybe load up in here. 50% of this big bullish monthly candle. This area, 1600, continuing to push for the third attempt to break that high up here. This was just recently. This was May of 2023. We couldn't, and then again it pushed back down. We had some conflict with Ukraine and Russia. Gold continued to come back up over here, and we just broke an all-time high right up there, 2,150, and you can see how we were consolidating, but no real monthly candles on gold closed right below here to justify a sell-off, and now we're continuing to push. Now we've got a new monthly candle that's pushing. I know it's the first day, it's early, but it could be a start of what's to come. We could maybe potentially fill our all-time high wick, 2,150. Maybe this is going to continue to move, but we do need to start to break the monthly candles down into weekly, daily, 4-hour, hourly. Okay, so do we all agree gold is bullish on the monthly? Every pullback is holding higher low support at each successive level, and we're continuing to push up. Okay, so critical area, what I would identify on the monthly is this area right over here. See, use those wicks and those bodies, okay? I know we can exaggerate things if I place a red box all the way to that previous all-time high wick and drag that across. That's not what I want to do. I want to maybe get that wick, bring it across, and then I can start to see that I also get this wick, that wick, bring it across. I trade into that body, wick, bring it across, and continue to go across into the future. But now flip this box green. Okay, the volume is above on the monthly. Flip it green. See how this month right here, we came down Friday, December 1st, 2023 in there, and it bounced right off our green box. We came down again the next month, bounced off. We came again just recently, last month, February, in the green box and bounced off. Now we're continuing push. If we ever do come back down in here, maybe buyers are waiting down in here. If it closes below here on the monthly, flip this green box red. That's where we could possibly sell down to. Where? Down to our pivot points right over here, back down to maybe these bodies, 1850 psychological block, maybe place a yellow line. We're nowhere near this, but I'm just telling you like how I do my charting. I do a lot of long investing in Bitcoin. I do a lot of long investing in gold. I like to do spot gold. I like to buy physical gold. I like to hold physical gold. I have it in a safety deposit bank at my safety deposit box at my bank. I buy at these levels, and then when it goes to all-time highs, if I feel like selling some and turning it into cash, I can. I don't like to hold long positions in Forex due to swaps and things like that and paying spreads and commissions, where I can own a piece of physical gold, whether it's white gold, it's yellow gold, it can be silver, it can be platinum. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? You can own copper if you want, like copper too, if you understand what copper is used for, nickel, things like that. You don't need to be able to afford gold or Bitcoin. You can do other things. Okay, so and then another pivot point is down here. I know we don't have to worry about these right now. Everyone's going to say, Ron, why are you even showing this right now? We're nowhere near this. These you never know in the future. Okay, we talk for futures. This is more futures outlook. This is long-term outlook. This is monthly. So maybe next year, 2 years from now, maybe gold is back down to 1600. Who knows what's going to happen up here? Okay, maybe next conversation we're having, gold is at 2300, 2500. Nobody knows. Okay, so all we got to do is continue to follow the volume to the best of our ability. And right now on the monthly, this thing is continuing to push. Okay, so what is our all-time high? What is our monthly high? 2,150. What we can do is we can draw a flag like right above there. Just grab a piece of it and just draw like a red box. How big? It doesn't matter. Like you can just draw it like that. Okay, it's just to identify when we get close to an all-time high, we know that where it is, okay, with a flag on our chart. So it's right up there. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to move into the weekly. We're going to break down our weekly candles, okay? So we're consolidating on gold on the weekly. Where this was this week, remember the day was the end of the week over here where we broke out December 1st of the month, and it was that Sunday night where we hit the all-time high, then it came down, we came back up. You can see now where a lot of the resistance is on the weekly. So if I'm to place a yellow line on the weekly bodies right here, this was an important time in the market. This was our all-time high break. That was where we closed, we broke, there's our long wick, and look at the body. The body was almost red engulfing, took out that, and we did push down. But it got held in our green box. It came back up. Do you see that there's no weekly volume closing above these bodies? We attempted with an impulse break there. We attempted with an impulse break there, but then it retraced right back down. We tried one more attempt up there. It didn't even touch the line. Then we pushed back down. Push down, then we got a big injection again out of our big green box, and it continued to push up. And look at our weekly candle right now. Okay, this candle is going to close. Look, guys, weekly candle, Friday. It's going to close in 3 hours and 5 minutes. This is our first bar breaking. Is it going to break this critical wick right here? Look at right here. This week of Monday, December 25th. This was Christmas time, guys. Let's place a yellow line at this wick. 2088.50. We kissed it today. Look, is it going to be an equal high tweezer top today? We kind of tapped right into it, and it's retracing down now. So we still have 3 more hours to go on gold. If you're a gold trader, watch the weekly candle, how it closes this evening, or review it this weekend, or when you start trading Monday morning, make sure you take a look at gold's weekly candle. This is very, very interesting, guys. If it closes above this previous high, this is all we have left to the all-time high. It's to fill the wick, but you remember the firecracker approach. This is a long wick. It takes a lot of momentum to fill this wick. If it was a short wick, and we close near the high, yeah, it would be a firecracker and we pop, but we still have a lot of exhaustion above us. So it's going to depend where this body closes. Number one, if we cannot close above this high on December 25th, we need to maybe basically close above this yellow line above here. So now what I do on the weekly, so I know where like my zone is, I use the yellow line as reference, and then I bring my green box down to the previous bodies right here, and I make this green, and then bring it across. So now I know where my like kind of demand pool is. So if gold sells off and comes back down into here, maybe this is where it's going to consolidate and hold and then continue to drive. If the weekly volume closes below this green box, yes, then we might push down where? Maybe down to this area, 2045, where our bodies are. There's bodies right here, yellow. Where's our next kind of bodies? I see some bodies maybe right over here. Okay, body, 2018. Okay, but you guys see the weekly. This is a critical area. This is like a double bottom right now. Do you guys see the double bottom where we kind of came down here, one bottom? There's our neckline. We came back down, double bottom, and this is our breakout. That's our breakout. There's your W, okay? So you see your W. If this was a 5-minute setup, I'd be showing you the exact same thing on the 5 minutes. But this is an impulse weekly candle breaking out. Let's see if it can take out this high, number one. In order to continue the uptrend, we have to break highs. If they shut this down as a tweezer top, you know when they shut us down when we're scalping the markets, how critical it is, and then the market turns the opposite direction. It's the market stopped it equally high. Like the market did that, the market maker, not you and I. So this is really, really, guys, this is why I get excited about these things about price action, because you can look at this on the 1 minutes, you can look at the 5 minutes, you can look at this on the weeklies, you can look at this on the monthlies. That's why it's going to be very important where this weekly candle closes in the next 3 hours. I'd like to see if it can, number one, close above this area, 2072. We're at 2085, so we're far away from it, but I'd like to see how it will close. If we can continue to penetrate through here, how high could it go? If you don't know, okay, with this wick above here, then what I do is go from the high of this wick, all-time high, 2,150, go to the previous yellow line right here, and then identify where's half of it, okay? And then just place a yellow line. I think maybe half of it is right around here, okay? So from this body, from this yellow line right here to the high wick, half of it is right around there, 2,115. We might need to push green, get up to that yellow line. Maybe it might get rejected there, lower high, and come back down. But it's not going to go directly just right up to the all-time high. There's going to be some resistance it encounters along the way. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out where the resistance will be, because I don't know anything, because this was the only time it went up here and then it came right back down. So I will use Bookmap to identify these things, but me just analyzing right now where I think it could go, this is where I think maybe possibly it could move to. Okay, so now I don't want to just sit on a weekly candle. Let's move to the daily. Today, remember, it's the first day of the month. Okay, so this is exciting times. So this is now we break everything down on the daily. So now we know the exact dates now. Friday, December the 1st, they closed it right here. This was the Sunday 6 p.m. open when the market pumped to the all-time high and then it sold off. We held the bottom right here. That was a pivot I always put on my charts when I'm doing this. And we came right back up into this area. They pushed it right back down, but we didn't create any new lows. Again, it came right back down into this area, this big green box. It came right back up, and this was the explosion we're getting breaking out of here. So the daily candle is going to close in 3 hours. This is the area that I'm identifying to see if we will close above 2088. Will we close above the green box? Any pullbacks next week? I can already imagine in my head what's going to happen. It might pull back down into the green box, maybe go back up for a new high, maybe then they sell it back down. But if it's a higher low, then yeah, we could be driving to come up to that next yellow line up there and continuing to push. But this is very bullish. So I've already identified open, close, open and where the volume is right now. 50% of it is in here, 2063 to 60 to 70, this block. If we do come down red, this might be another buying opportunity in gold to buy in this green box and continue to push it back up. But we're pushing Okay, so key critical levels. Okay, you see in the green box, I've got that wick right there. So maybe if I want to place a yellow line, I know it might be a lot of lines on the chart, but this is to separate what's going on in the green box. This area, that wick kind of identifies perfectly with 50% of the volume around 2066, 65. Okay, how did we open today? We made a high yesterday, came down, retraced back, closed. Today we opened bearish. Gold was bearish. Where did we come into? 50% of the previous volume of the previous day. And that's our purple line. That's our low of the day. See how exactly, guys? It's 50% into the daily body, held, continued to push up. As soon as it broke out of the wick, it could continue to fill up the bodies. Okay, even if you're scalping, right there, that's a 50-point scalp. From 2050 to those bodies, that's 55. That's a $5 move. That's 50 pips right there. But it continued to push through here. We cleared this wick right here at 2065. It continued to pump. We cleared these wicks right here, and look at the final wick that we're trying to take out right here, 2088, 89, and then we have nothing above us. It's just that all-time high wick. That's why I placed that yellow line right there to separate things at around a psychological 50% level right there to see if we can come in there and hit that. So if we look at the RSI on gold right now, it's just breaking above 70. So it is getting a little bit overbought, but this is still a very bullish candle to initiate a short sell on because that's a strong daily candle. Okay, so let's break the daily down into the hourly. When did gold make this big move? Look at the moves here. Okay, so we always talk about 8 a.m. Eastern for gold if you're trading this commodity or precious metal. 8 a.m. is the COMEX market open, 8:20 a.m. to be exact. Look at the big level of injection at Thursday, 8 a.m. Then you have your consolidation, your Asian session, and then where's the next big injection? London. Here's your London-based candle, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. They picked it right back up. Then it came right back down today into 8 a.m. There's your bearish candle. But then you got your ignited bar that picked it up at 10. This was because there was 3 red USD folders today. The University of Michigan sentiment report, sorry, right over here, what we talked about. We had ISM manufacturing. It was red, bad for the US dollar. The US dollar sold off, good for gold. It's correlated. Revised US University of Michigan consumer report, worse than the forecast. Not good for the US dollar, good for gold. Finally, ISM manufacturing prices, the actual number was worse than the forecast. Not good for the US dollar, good for gold. That was 10 a.m. When did we get the big injection of liquidity? 10 a.m. And there's gold pushing up. So again, if I'm looking for hourly resistance break, 2057, when we broke above this structure, white line, that's my hourly. I always do this on the hourly to know where my hourly structure is. There was the push, and you see 50% of the base of the candle is still above this level. We close near the high. Look at the next candle. So when you learn 1 minute candles, 5 minute candles, when you learn what is an ignited bar, what is a short wick, what is a long wick, what is a hammer candle, what is a pin bar, what is a spin top, what is a shooting star, now you can translate these to any time frame you want, and you pick what time frame of a trader you are. I'm more of a 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute scalper. But if I wanted to trade gold on the 1 hour, I definitely can. I'm not doing anything different than I do on the 1 minutes. It's just I gotta hold a trade for multiple hours, and it's just not my style, but it's someone else's style. And if you want to do that, you're following the same thing. There's your ignited bar, there's your short wick. You maybe could have possibly taken a trade at 11 a.m. today. Place your stop loss, maybe 50% right below this thing, and let it ride. And it continued to close near the high. Again, measure was 50% of this, 2075. Maybe have a trailing stop loss right there. It came down a little bit. Did it even come into 50%? No. Higher low, short wick, it continued to pop. This was the last candle we came into about 50%. So now I place a white line at some critical bodies right here. Body to body, I'm going to place a white line. So I know where there is support in the market now. So I know that there's gold support at 2081 area right here. Now I know that gold may be consolidating from this high. That's our daily high. So let me just make it purple. That's our daily high. and our hourly. So if I want to consolidate now and I don't want to trade these spin top candles in here, I can trap this area on the hourly. This could be a bullish flag that just continues to maybe just come down, back up, come down, back up, and then break out of here, and all of a sudden this thing is pushing. This thing might come down, close below here, come up a little bit, then be a lower high, then drop, and then we can maybe possibly look for sells below 2080 and take this thing down to maybe 2072 or half of the base of this candle to 2075-76. But you got to understand that maybe now we got to wait for something to happen. It now came up. Now we got some inside consolidation. Maybe it's going to come down. Maybe it might go back up. Maybe a double top. Maybe a take out the liquidity of the high. Then maybe they drop it down, close it below there. Then gold retraces back down. I could be entirely wrong with that pattern, that prediction. Maybe the pattern is going to continue to drive. Maybe it comes up, maybe consolidates, and then when it comes up, it's actually breaking out, but then closes above and retests this. Then all of a sudden there's no M pattern. Then it's continuing to drive for highs and making you higher highs, higher lows. We might get a couple hours now of just some inside consolidation. Okay, so it is a bull flag, still driving. It's hourly is getting a little bit overbought. Okay, so now what we can do is we move into either 30-minute candles, 15-minute, the 5-minute, and then we see what's going on in here. Here are the 5 minutes. Okay, so like there was beautiful moves today in the market. Look how nice these gold candles are. This is like really nice. You know, when we're talking about like A plus volume to trade on any base of a candle, whether it's even the 1 minutes, we're trading phenomenal today. 1 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, hourly, daily, whatever time frame trader you are, you need to learn how to appreciate today's tradition. Candlesticks, price action, and volume. You know, when we talk about when days are really, really, really shitty to trade, today is a day where you have to appreciate this type of volume, and there's going to be days like this in the market. So if you know that one day it's really, really tough to trade, or it's really choppy, and it's a lot of candles have wicks and no direction, that's the day you need to be disciplined and close the computer and stop trading for that day. Because I'm telling you, the next day might be a day like today, and you're going to say to me, oh my God, Ron, why did I waste all of my money trading last week when it was garbage, when I could have traded this type of volume today? And I'm telling you, it's always going to be like this. Don't think it's just once in a while. You're going to find when you're trading Monday to Friday throughout the week, some days are really bad and some days are better than others. It's up to you to identify what volume to trade and what not to trade, and to be disciplined, maybe to take a day off of the volume that's not good. Some of you guys are really understanding this and you guys are doing really well with your trading. Some of you guys have no idea what this means, and you guys are struggling because you keep trading the worst volume and you keep over leveraging, you keep risking more, you keep getting frustrated, you're getting pissed off, you're blowing up account, you're buying another prop firm, you're blowing that up, and you're lost as a trader because you have no direction and you don't know what you're looking for. Okay, so I'm not saying this to put anybody down. I'm trying to say this to bring you guys up. You need to understand this as a trader. Please learn this concept. It will help you in the long run. I'm telling you guys, if you want to be a trader for longer than months and years, you need to learn the skill of identifying what is good volume and what is not good volume. What is trending volume? What is choppy volume? What is a trending market? What is a choppy market? What is manipulation? You need to also learn what is manipulation. Okay, how candles can impulsively break and not close above structure and get rejected. You need to learn all of these things. Okay, so now the 5 minutes. This was our hourly consolidated box. It's a big, big box here. But if I do want to look on the 5 minutes, I see that the 5 minutes are making a little bit of structure themselves. Like over here, this was resistance right over here, a red line. Right there was resistance. These 4 bars were resistance. All of a sudden we closed above, so now it's going to be support. We just closed below. So you see how it's just consolidating right near this red line right now. So what I could possibly wait for is maybe more volume to maybe break and close below here in order maybe to justify taking a sell from here, maybe down to there. So I can already look at 84 to 81 is about $3 move, 30 pips. So right here, 84, 85 coming down to there, approximately 30, 35, 40 pips if it does come down red and breaks down there. But it could also hold and continue to come right back up. So I'm already identified one top up there. That might be where the market now holds gold down. So what I want to do is kind of create a red box here and bring it across, because in the future, if we ever do come back up here, this might be a double top area. So I have to be very careful. I got to look too. Are the 5 minutes? Yeah, there is a little bit of divergence on the 5 minutes. See how it made a high, the higher high? The strength is decreasing now. So all I need is more confirmation of red bars to maybe close below this structure. Maybe another pullback traps more buyers, and then they bring it down. I could be maybe potentially looking to sell below here. If not, maybe this is just the move that cooled the RSI down to here to 58. So they maybe cooled the RSI down. Like we all think it's going to continue maybe to sell off, but maybe that's it. They cooled off the RSI. It found the strength now at 56, and this thing might come back up. So if it comes back up, maybe I watch to see if it will break this resistance, close above, maybe retest this, hold, and then continue to drive. Okay, if you don't feel comfortable trading in this area, like this was the bigger area of consolidation. Now what I can do is I can kind of trap the consolidation in this really, really tight zone right here. Sorry, let me just move this right there. Okay, so you see how I just kind of trapped it in there. Now we have a tighter consolidated box right there. That's where potentially, maybe if I want to sell, I could look to sell down there this afternoon. But if it still wants to trade in here and accumulate, I just watch what's going on. Maybe we'll come up and make some new highs, and then I got to continue buying gold this afternoon. Okay, so and then when we add some indicators on a chart, we're right at our 9 EMA. Where's the 200? 200 is like NASDAQ all the way down here. It diverged away, it feathered away. We're nowhere near here. There's not to say that we're not going to maybe get a cool off this afternoon power hour. This could continue just to be bullish and continue to drive. You got to understand that, okay? This maybe was just cooling off the RSI right around here, and it might continue to push right back up. Okay, so careful trading gold this afternoon. I'm going to give this chart to everybody right now in the Zoom, and we're going to continue, guys, with Bitcoin. Okay, so trading view, there is the gold chart in there. Okay, so we've banged through two charts now, NASDAQ and gold. We'll keep gold right here in the middle. See NASDAQ? Okay, so again, if you're trying to sell this thing, you know, you could be getting in trouble. It closed above and it's continuing for new highs up here, 18,330. Okay, so sometimes maybe just we got to figure out where this thing is going to start to consolidate. Now maybe if it starts to sell below here, maybe make some structure, maybe one top, a second top, I could look to maybe sell below 18,305. Remember that yellow line? Maybe take it down to the purple, maybe down to there. That's if there's going to be an afternoon sell. Right now, it's still bullish. So you have to continue to allow the bulls to do what they're doing. Okay. Our gold is negative 7,000 cumulative volume delta. So you see there's a lot of red transactions in the market. This 21,000 up here, you can see it's big red block up there. Okay, so we haven't transacted into this block yet. The gold may come back up and transact in here, and that's why I have the red box above there just in case to represent that that's where that heat is up there if it does come up. If we start to transact below the VWAP and move the depth of market, all these offers start to populate down and we pull some of these bids, then yes, we might get gold to continue to maybe sell a little bit down in here. Okay, so guys, let's continue moving forward. If everyone on YouTube can hit the like button right now, subscribe to our channel. We're going to get into Bitcoin now. Okay, so we haven't done a Bitcoin analysis in a long time. I feel like it's time now that we get involved in some Bitcoin. How many of you guys trade Bitcoin? How many of you guys, first of all, how many of you guys scalp Bitcoin? Okay. I know not some of you guys scalp it. I know some of you guys are more long-term holders of, you guys scalp Bitcoin? Yep, just spreads. You got to get good spreads when you're scalping Bitcoin. But you can make some nice moves scalping Bitcoin, but most of you guys are maybe holders for long time. Okay, so let's talk about Bitcoin. I'll leave also, guys, on Bookmap, what do you want me to leave it on? NASDAQ or gold? Okay, one or the other while I do Bitcoin. What would you guys like Bookmap on? NASDAQ or gold? Gold? Okay. It's on gold, so we'll leave it on gold. Okay, key areas to watch. I'll place a yellow line right here. That was our last high up there. Okay, so we're consolidating up right above the VWAP. Maybe we might come back up to that resistance. You see the big heat up there. There's a big block of sellers waiting up there. Last time we came down, you see how it hit the VWAP and then the buyers were asking to trade back up here. So it's kind of just, it cooled the market down, but did not really break any structure down here. So it's still consolidating in here. Okay, so here's like this is, I'm on Binance right now on the monthly, okay? So it doesn't show the overall picture of when Bitcoin started in 2010, 11, 12, you know, the run up there. I was part of that. We were part of that. You know, I was trading. I was telling all my friends about Bitcoin back in 2010, 11, 12. They thought I was crazy, but you know, it is what it is. And now look at it. Okay, so look at our previous highs. Okay, right up here, 64,000. This one right here, 2021, we got up to 66,000. This one right up here, 69,000. And we're approaching it one more time. Okay, so we have to identify all-time highs on Bitcoin. Are you guys familiar with what happens every 4 years, the 4-year cycle with Bitcoin, the halving? So every 4 years, there's a halving. Some of you guys maybe don't understand what that is, but it's rewarding the miners. Okay, so there's got to be supercomputers to mine Bitcoin, and it rewards the miners, but they cut the reward program down in half every 4 years. It kind of, this is how they battle inflation. You know, with fiat currency, they can keep printing. With Bitcoin, you can't keep printing Bitcoins. It's only a finite amount you can mine, 21 million, and that's the entire supply. So we're almost there. It's at almost 20 million have been mined, but they reduced the reward. So if you guys remember back in the day, it kind of started with 50 Bitcoins for mining. Then after 4 years, they cut it down. They cut it down in half to 25. Then it went down next 4 years to 12.5. Then it went down to 6.25. And now we're breaking the 6.25 to 3.125. Okay, so that's going to be in the next 4 years. So that will cause the demand to continue to drive Bitcoin and maybe cause it to move to new higher pricing. Simple supply and demand. Some people now, you might notice, are selling their miners, are selling their riggers right now because it costs a lot of money to upkeep all of the computers, the supercomputers, and now with the rewards going down, it's not really worth the rigs and the mining. You might see some of your friends are selling their rigs right now, and if you want to get into this, you might be at a time where you want to maybe buy, but also the rewards are going down. Okay. Leaped Friner, you don't trust me. That's okay. You don't need to trust me. I'm not asking for your trust here. If you don't trust me, it's all good. Don't worry. There's a lot of people that don't trust me. All good. I'm going to sleep good at night if you don't trust me. I don't trust you either. Okay. So how about that? If you don't trust me, I don't know why you don't trust me. What am I doing? I'm just talking about Bitcoin, or I'm just giving some analysis about the markets. But it's all good if you don't trust me. You don't need to trust me. I don't trust a lot of people either. You know, I don't trust, my trust is very thin with people, to tell you the truth. There's a great movie while we're talking about trust. It's called Trust No One. It's on Netflix. It's a Canadian exchange for Bitcoin, and I was part of it, and I lost a lot of my Bitcoins with this company. Some of you guys have watched this film on Netflix. It's called Trust No One. So maybe that's a perfect Netflix movie for you, Left Frenner, to watch. It's all about trusting no one. And I, too, do not trust anybody. But it's a great movie. Guys, I was part of that. That was the first Canadian exchange for Bitcoin, and oh man, just watch it. I don't want to spoil that movie, but it is a great movie back in 2015 when all of these kind of scam Bitcoin exchanges were going down, and that was the biggest one in Canadian history. And I lost quite a few Bitcoins on that exchange, guys. Okay, so let's continue going forward. Okay, so look at what I'm doing here. Okay, so you know what I normally do with the red box. Okay, but I want to get that all-time high wick right here. November 1st of 2021, we hit 69,000, just above 69,000. So I kind of took it down to maybe the next previous all-time high right here, and then I stretch it across because I want to give it a little room to breathe in here and see if we can come back up to those all-time highs, like right there. So I'm just trying to grab my areas, and then look at where we have some serious monthly support. So you know when Bitcoin just recently came down to 15,000 and everyone was saying it's going to crash down to zero? Well, let's look. Did it crash down to zero? No, it kind of held right here at 15, 16,000, and that was a good time to buy. I was accumulating Bitcoin at that time as well. And since then, we do have levels. Right over here on the monthly, when it hit 31, 32,000, you see how many times, how many months we couldn't break this resistance. So when I'm drawing like yellow lines as critical now higher time frame areas, those are point of interest. So you see we could not break above it. Finally, this candle right here broke above it. October 1st, 2023, closed above it. So just like if this was a 5-minute setup, if this was a 1-minute candle, we closed above, we mark where's 50% of it, we identify how big the wick is, how big the pullback is, there's the pop, could have maybe purchased right here at 35,000, place stop loss down there a little bit, and continue to ride where? Up to resistance right here. Here's resistance. A body, a wick, and a wick. So if I was to draw another yellow line in this area, right around there, you see how it's a wick, a body represents 50% of this bearish candle coming down. I know it's after the fact. Everyone says, okay, Ron, this is back testing. I know that, guys. I'm the biggest person against like backtesting going live, but sometimes you got to do analysis to understand what you're doing. Okay, so you can see, I can now see January of 2022, it came up here, got rejected. We came back up March of 2022, 2 years ago. We could not break 47,000. We came back up again April 2022. Then that's when we had that big pullback and that down to 16,000. This is when everyone was saying Bitcoin is going to crash. It didn't. No one was really selling down here. So it forced bidders to ask to trade up here and forced to the big timers to continue to come and trade in here. And we had some developments just recently. BlackRock now is approved for 8 ETFs of Bitcoin. Ethereum is the next one coming very soon. Ethereum should be getting their ETF, and BTC already has 9 ETFs. So what an ETF is, it allows institutions, it allows big banks, it allows pension funds to buy spot Bitcoin, and it's more regulated where it's not more of a scam industry where I was part of this thing in 2015, in 2013, and 2012. If you guys remember some of those shitty exchanges that were unregulated and somehow disappeared a lot of the Bitcoins, that's what these guys want. They want more of a secure, regulated industry where it's not, where there's no scam involved. It's not to say that BlackRock is not is a trusted company. Okay, I'm not saying that, but now it's trading on Wall Street. Wall Street is involved now, and now we've got ETFs. So this rush of volume could be due to ETFs, of the flood of liquidity coming into the markets. And this is what could be the driver to break all-time highs. And then where could it go? God knows. But let's look now following everything what's going on. So we have this big resistance that we are very close to. Look at 62,000 right now, 69. We're only $7,000 away from breaking this thing. Okay. Yeah, Grayscale was selling too. So they're buying from Grayscale. And then retail sellers are not selling. You can look at retail sellers. When it came down to 15, 16,000, retail sellers were not selling. There's a lot of retail sellers who are long on Bitcoin for good. You know, they're not looking to trade this thing. They're looking for the generational wealth on this thing, or where it could go in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. So there's a lot of early infant adopters. It doesn't show it here on the charts, but when Bitcoin really got started, these guys don't do this to make money. They don't do it to trade it. They're adopting the technology and what this can do for the world, how it can revolutionize the world, how it can put everything on a fair playing field, how it can eliminate a lot of things that around the world that I don't want to talk too much here on YouTube. We've got enough strikes here on YouTube, so I got to be careful what I'm saying here. But some of you guys know what Bitcoin does, the technology behind it, okay? So let's continue to look at what's going on. So the last month, this was where we had big news of ETFs. February, we had a big, look at the candle. It was down to 42,000. We pushed all the way up to 64,000 and we closed at 61,000. So look at our monthly candle. I know it's just started today. It's just our first day, but it is still an ignited bar. It's important to understand that it did open ignited. And now when we look at the size of the wick, is it a large wick? Is it a shorter wick? We could possibly maybe take this out this month. It's ignited. So what I like to do is also, if it pulls back, it could possibly pull back into 50% of previous month's liquidity. So open close, half of it is maybe right around here, 52,300 level, like right around here. So what I do is kind of figure out where's half the volume, like right around, let's say 52, 53,000, right around there. And then remember this area that was the body, the wick, and then so I have kind of like a green zone. So from the yellow to the yellow, now I draw like a green box. And this will be my demand block for Bitcoin if it ever does come back in here in the next couple months. So this general area, this block, I know it's a bigger block, but we're talking on the monthly right now. So this area around 52,000 coming down to maybe 47.5. So here it is, 47.5 to 52.5. That is my demand block. If we do come down red, I'm looking for buyers of Bitcoin to step in here and maybe take it for the next leg up and take out the all-time highs. Maybe we don't even retrace back into this box because maybe it makes a higher low before it even retraces down in here. Where could the higher low be? Again, let's look at maybe where there is some bodies in the market right here. So before we come down into here was some critical bodies, a body and that wick right there on December 1st of 2021. So again, place a yellow line like kind of right here. So I want to see this month, if we retrace down, can we hold 58,700? Okay, so I want to see if we can continue to hold right here. If we cannot hold here, then maybe we might have the probability of coming back down into the green box. So right now, it's still bullish. What I'd like to see is maybe how it consolidates in this range in here. Every time it comes up in here, they push it back down. We came up here, they pushed it back down. We came up for the all-time high, then they pushed it right back down. Now we got some volume trading inside this area. So what I would do is maybe watch how it's possibly going to consolidate in this area for the next few weeks or the next few days to see where this thing can go. Okay, guys, so just, sorry guys, I'm just getting a text here. One moment. Okay, it's just my wife asking me if I'm going to pick up the kids. Yes, I am. Okay. So where were we? So this is where it may consolidate in this area right over here. Okay. So we know that it could possibly come up and take out that all-time high. Maybe we cannot even have enough momentum to take out that previous month's high. Maybe it might come down, but this is what we have to watch. Okay, so and then in April, guys, mid-April, we have the halving coming. So it's every 4-year cycle. So the last time we had the halving was in 2020. Before that was 2016. Again 2012. So 2024 we're going to get the halving. The next halving cycle will be 2028. Okay, so monthly we're pushing. Okay, so if you're trying to short Bitcoin right now, just careful with it right now. Let's go to the daily. Okay, so look at how we're moving on the daily. So we do have some good daily support holding right around here, like at 39,000, 40,000. So when I'm drawing like yellow lines right there, that's a nice daily support. We came in here, held above it, held it, continuing to push for new highs. Look at how much consolidation we had across the board here, mid-February, consolidated. Then right here, February 26th, this is when like the ETFs were announced. Then we got that big injection of liquidity and we continued to drive. Now we're consolidating. Okay, so you see the big green candle, the push, we got red, we got green. So it's kind of flagging. We're overbought on RSI, okay, overbought, completely overbought up here at 86, and we're still at 81. So really, really overbought. Everything is overbought we looked at today. Gold is overbought on every time frame. What else is overbought? NASDAQ is overbought, and Bitcoin is overbought. So you have to be very careful with shorting these things right now, okay? So let's figure out some key areas. So on the daily, what I like to look for is some areas of reference, okay? So our previous highs last 2 days and to these bodies. So that's where I draw my red zone, okay? Just below the all-time high zone, because maybe they're going to lower the supply and maybe try to push this thing down. Okay, you see it's this red box is lower than the bigger red box, all-time high box. Okay, so I want to see if maybe daily candles can maybe continue to push and close above here, retest this, then yes, we might have enough momentum to take out that all-time high and approach 70,000. We'll see if we can get it. But right now, it could also be flagging or consolidating right back down to that daily level. So if it's consolidating here, then again, I wait to see what Bitcoin's going to do next week, next month. Just continue, let it to consolidate. If we start to get red close below here and maybe pull back up, then maybe I'm looking for a double top here. Maybe I'm looking for a lower high here. Maybe I'm looking for a rejection off of 59,000 here. And then maybe it will sell back down into the bigger green box. And then we come trade into this 50,000 block. So right now in the daily, it's pushing, we're consolidating. This might be a extended bullish flag that continues to break out of here. We haven't really closed below any critical levels. We haven't even tapped into or closed below 50% of this bullish candle on Wednesday of this week. So it is still technically bullish. If we move into the hourly now and we're looking to look at how this thing trades on the hourly. So some traders are scared to trade this thing. It just trades like any other security, you know. There is some crazy times too. There is some crazy candles. You can see how it trades, but hourly for the most part makes some support. So if I look at the bodies, I don't just look at these wicks. I look right there. There was a pivot where it came down, the body's held, continue push back up. And then if I draw like a white line, it still tells me where there is some hourly support right over here. See the bodies. Okay, there was bodies. Yeah, I know there was some abnormal candles over here that could have been due to news, could have been due to volatility. Any security trades like that, not just Bitcoin. But also if you identify areas here, you see when it came back down into this hourly area, we bounced back up, came and then started making higher highs, but no more new higher highs. It's all higher lows. So we pulled back again on the hourly. It's building a little bit of hourly support right here at this structure. So I can see that this area is holding. Now it might be forming an hourly double top now. So I might be looking to short Bitcoin maybe below here to come down, but this could be our first technical double top where it came up, back down. There's our neckline. We came back up and there's our red bar right at the double top. So we got to see maybe if this can engulf, maybe come down. It might come down here, not break, may come back up, lower high, then push, actually close below that white line, maybe retrace, and then it sells back down. Okay, that could be a possible path if you're looking to maybe short Bitcoin. Otherwise, if this thing keeps coming up and trading into here, we're not too far away from all-time highs. Okay, so you got to be careful. But if we get green volume closing inside here, we could possibly take out these wicks, and then this is our all-time high up here, 60, almost 70,000. Not too far away. Not too far away. Okay. So, and then scalping Bitcoin. Can you scalp it? Absolutely, you can. You can even scalp it on the 1 minutes. But make sure you get either a broker or an exchange that has favorable spreads with any security trading, just like when we tell you if you're trading gold, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, or oil, or GBP USD. Same thing with Bitcoin. If you're trading this thing, make sure you look for good spreads. You don't want to have a horrible spread and you're trying to scalp this thing. Also look at your commissions too. Some exchanges do not charge spreads, but they charge you commissions. So make sure you factor all those in your trading. And they move very technical. Bitcoin does everything like very similar to any other security. Like there's double bottom right there. There's an impulse breakout. You know, there's all types of things. They have the exact same candles as anything else. It trades just like anything else. Okay, so you can add all of your technical indicators. You can use RSI with it. You can add your 9 EMA. You can add your 200 EMA. It's just the same as trading any other security that there is. Okay, so that was just a little analysis with Bitcoin. We're going to get more involved with Bitcoin, guys. As it keeps going up. What are you guys' thoughts on Bitcoin? What do you guys see this thing trading at? Do you guys think we're going to break the all-time high this year? Where do you guys see this thing going? So that's another question. Let's go on the higher time frames again and maybe go to the monthly and ask you guys, if Bitcoin breaks all-time high, where do you guys see this thing going? Like, I know some people are predicting some crazy numbers, but I kind of don't go by the crazy numbers. I go by, again, psychological numbers. So first things first, if we can break all-time high 69, 70,000, where could we go? Next, you know how I always go quarter point increments, 75,000. That would be the next area I'd like to touch is 75,000. I'd like to touch 75, okay? So I place a yellow line up there. And this is how I trade. I go by like kind of quarter increment moves. Then the next move would be 100,000. Okay. If we can break above 75 and maybe continue to consolidate and push, maybe 100,000. Okay. That's, some people are saying 250,000 a coin. I don't know. Like, that all depends. But before we can get to 250,000 a coin, you still got incremental value that you still got to get through. So before it can go to 250, we've got to get through 75, 100, maybe 150, then 200, then 250, and continue so on and so forth. But there are some people making some astronomical claims, like Kathy Wood from ARK Investment. She's never been a trader. She's never been an investor. She's just throwing out some crazy numbers during the pandemic. She was saying Tesla is going to go to 4,000. She was saying gold is going to go to 3,500. She was saying Bitcoin is going to go to 1 million. She just made some crazy calls and she got a big following off of it, and nothing has even came to fruition what she's saying. So you know, she's one of them that's making these crazy astronomical estimates, but I don't know, guys. Gabe, that was Kathy Woods from ARK Investments. ARK, you can trade her. She has a mutual fund, but she makes money on managerial fees. But she's made some astronomical claims. Like, even I'm shaking my head. Like, I know Tesla could be the future, but 4,000, come on. And she gave like just in a year or two, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I know if that's over a 10-year span or something like that, but in 1 year to get to Tesla to 4,000, come on. I don't know, but that's why these people are professionals. Okay, so that is Bitcoin. If you look on the daily, we're consolidating green, red, coming up green. I'd like to see maybe in the next 4 hours where our daily candle Bitcoin. And remember, guys, Bitcoin trades 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's not like gold or currency where it's Monday to Friday. This thing trades Saturday, Sunday, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So some of you guys that are trading Forex, you guys are done on Friday. You guys can trade crypto on the weekends. You know, we used to do this as well. But some of you guys want to enjoy your time on the weekend as well. But if that's what you want to do and you want to trade, you can trade crypto on the weekends. Okay, so let's just do our everything together on all three of the charts and take a look at how everything is moving for the last 20 minutes here. Okay, so we've got NASDAQ right over here. Okay, so NASDAQ. Okay, what time is it? 2:40. Okay, so we're coming up to 2:45. We got a 15-minute candle coming up. NASDAQ pushed up. Okay, new all-time high right up there, 18,340. They brought it down red, right back down to our yellow line, and now it could be coming right back up. So let's see, maybe one more attempt. If they push this thing down, we might get maybe an attempt at power hour to maybe push this thing down, or it'll just continue to get bought up and continue to drive bullish during power hour. Gold right now, okay, so also with gold, guys, COMEX market 8:20 to 1:30 p.m. So 1:30 p.m. an hour ago, COMEX market closed. If you are still trading gold, make sure you are aware that the COMEX market exchange is closed. Okay, so there could be a lack of volume that you're trading. Some gold traders are done trading by 1:30 p.m. Eastern because they trade the COMEX market, and then they're done. But if you are trading gold, it is still consolidating in here. It did come back up, go back down. And we just did Bitcoin for fun today just to show how exciting Bitcoin can be and how it's moving. Okay, guys? SharePoint 120,000 in the last Elliott wave. We are currently third wave. Okay, so 120, not bad. Can make a lot of people some money. Okay, so is anybody in any trades right now? I'll get rid of Bitcoin because I don't think anyone is trading it. We'll focus on these two right now. Okay, so we've got NASDAQ and we've got gold. Is anyone in any trades right now with NASDAQ and gold? Another question is anyone going to hold over the weekend? Is anyone holding any positions over the weekend? That's another thing that you need to ask yourself. Will you be holding a position over the weekend, especially if you're holding gold? Okay, so gold, anything can happen in the world. You guys know how gold trades. If a war breaks out, if anything happens, Sunday night you could have gold taking out all-time highs, or you could have gold dumping. Okay, so be careful if you're holding positions over the weekend. You have to understand that anything can happen. And when the markets open up, then don't be surprised. Okay, I've been burned multiple times by holding gold over the weekend, and it's one thing that I told myself I'm not going to do. I hold gold, like physical gold, over weekends and every single day, but not with swaps and things like that, and something where I don't have control of. Okay, so NASDAQ. Okay, so anyone selling NASDAQ right now, it made this push down, but we're looking for red volume to kind of close maybe below this daily point of interest area, this 18,300 area, 305 area. Let's take a look at NQ. Just one quick. I just want to look at a NASDAQ in Bookmap. Okay, so NASDAQ, you can see how really messy it's trading in here. I think during power hour, there will be more of a move. Okay, so we're getting there. This is 245 now, a new 15-minute candle. It is still fairly bullish. Cumulative volume delta is almost positive 2,000, so still a lot of buyers. And then if you look at the structure of gold, it did make a lower high right here. Okay, lower high. There's these three wicks. This wick right here, this wick right here, and this wick right here at around 2086.75. You can see that it came up and they're slowly pushing it down. So just got to see if they can break this area, maybe push it down, maybe get it down to 2083, maybe 82 area. And if gold continues to sell off, the cumulative volume delta is there for gold. It's negative 7,600, but they just haven't released or redistributed all of the sell side transactions. So it's very difficult to say when this will be released, but currently gold is still holding support. So it's difficult to say when. And NASDAQ now is coming back up. So where I had this consolidated area, I can kind of see the impulse breakout, the push, and then the drop. So this area is kind of where my red zone is, like my red box, in case we do come back in the future, back up here for maybe a physical double top. And then if it breaks out of here, there could be another short squeeze and NASDAQ continuing new highs. So just to reiterate, AMD is Advanced Micro Devices Inc. is up 4.4% right now at $201, and that could be one of the drivers. Let's see what else is QQQ. Okay, so QQQ futures all-time highs. Nvidia 3.8% at $821 a share. So this thing is unbelievably bullish since their earnings and prior to earnings. So the markets are really hot today with semis. Gabe, look at Dow on Bookmap. Yeah, absolutely. So Gabe, it's right over here. YMH4. I'm looking at the contract right here. CBOT Rhythmic. And this is Dow Jones, 15 minutes. So right over here, Gabe, 145, 2 o'clock, 2:15, 2:30, 2:45. We're trading right at the VWAP. Cumulative volume delta is a much different story than NASDAQ. Negative 225, but still holding. So we do have some areas of resistance where it peaked up here. And then you can see when it's breaking the VWAP, it broke, but then it kind of catapulted and came right back up like a trampoline, and then they were asking to trade where it made that high, and again we came right back down one time, two times, three times, four times back down to the VWAP, and again they're asking to trade up here. So let's see maybe this power hour, guys, to see if anything happens below the VWAP on Dow, on NASDAQ, if anything can happen below. Also with gold. Why don't they move together? They're completely different indices, Gabe. Like NASDAQ is more tech related and US 30 is more of a basket case of everything. So you got some bank, it's got the bank sector, you have finance, you have oil and energy, you have big box retailers like Home Depot and Walmart, and you have some tech, but it's just it's a completely different index. Okay, so they're not always going to move hand in hand. They're two different indices. They're comprised of different securities. Okay, so you see, guys, there was a nice pullback. Okay, there's a nice pullback, but it pulled back right into this higher time frame area, the yellow line, a point of interest. So if you were selling, maybe you sold this big red candle that came down, that's about 30 pips. You're going like it's not bad scalp, but you got to understand that maybe you're countering a move. So this is what we're saying, that maybe you got to kind of pip and dip, get your 10, 15, 20, 30 pips, and maybe possibly get out because the trend is still strong and still pushing up. Mr. Bryson, you and Mrs. Dow Jones, you got a good thing going. Yeah, I do too. But you never know. Maybe you gotta see Miss Nasty, Miss Nasdaq too, because the way how Nasdaq is trading too, you could have some fun with that as well. But I love Miss Jones as well as you do too. But um, sometimes you got to watch what's going on with the markets, with the big boys moving it, and that's Nvidia, and watching what's going on. But I'm loyal to Miss Jones myself. But not everybody feels that way, so I'm happy you do. Okay, and you see gold, like gold barely has a pulse. Okay, so maybe it might get a little bit of an injection at 3 o'clock, but you can tell as soon as COMEX closed how kind of the liquidity dried up. Okay, when you're trading gold. I'd like to ask too, is anyone holding a big NASDAQ buy from this morning? Is anyone holding any of this with a trailing stop loss? Like if you bought during Wall Street or just after Wall Street and you're holding this move, because you need to be congratulated. That is a big hold and that's impressive. And make sure you have a trailing stop loss just in case. Rob, you're holding a zero point 0.7 Dow by. Nice. That's awesome. It's good that you're still holding it. Crypt, Yellow Vest, is that you, Juanito? Is that you? You're holding it with Shahab from London? Wow. Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. Okay, bro. I'll maybe see if there's a scalp during power hour while I go pick up the kids at school, but if not, I'm content with today's move. I took the gold signal from SST, which was a great signal watching above those levels after the news. And so I kind of don't want to give too much back for a Friday, but you guys know me. I'm always looking at my phone whenever there's an opportunity, but I'm going to be more cautious this power hour. We'll get back to doing a couple 1 minute scalp sessions. I know some of you guys have asked me to do that, and I'd like to do that too. I'm really passionate about trading 1 minute candles, but we maybe have to do it with kind of one security. Maybe we're watching one security. You guys pick the security, and we do a top down, and we watch the 1 minutes. Mr. Bryson, you had a good solid week. Good. What I would do, my recommendation, Mr. Bryson, is review this weekend. Review your good trades that you took this week, the setups, the securities you took, the time of day, the session. Maybe if you made a couple mistakes, learn from them. Maybe like if you got stopped out of a trade, learn why you took it, maybe how to improve it, and keep moving forward so that next week you have another good week, and then you can keep a string of these good weeks coming together. There's going to be bound for a time where you're going to have a difficult week trading. It happens to everybody. There's going to be a time where you have a really, really tough day trading. Every trader goes through it, but it's how you overcome that. We had a lot of our top traders in our group have a rough day trading, but they bounce back and they're having a great day again. Okay, so it's all about mindset, guys. Don't get rattled if you have a bad day. As long as you're trading within your risk, you're managing your risk, you're managing your account. You have proper risk management, and you have a bad day, you're still okay. You're still okay. You got to understand that. It's when you have zero risk management and you have no idea what you're doing, and then you have a bad day, then you've probably lost your entire account. And that's not something that you want to do. If you have a bad day and you're risking only 1%, you're not losing a lot. You're not giving away your entire account. You're not giving back your weekly gains. You've taken a small loss, and with smaller losses, you can recover them and keep moving forward. But that's the hardest part of trading, is to learn that concept. Some traders, that's the hardest thing to learn how to trade, is the risk management. And if you guys are still struggling with that, it's you need to figure this out. You have to. You got to be content with a realistic daily goal. I know everyone wants to make thousands of dollars when they trade every day, but what about if you've never made $100 in a day trading? Why do you have a goal of 1,000 when you've never made $100 in your life trading? Okay, some of you guys have never even made $10 trading. Some of you guys are trading with microsizing with 10 cents. You know, some of you guys have never felt what it feels like to make $10 as a trader. So why do you have goals of 1,000 when you haven't even made 100 or $10? Start slow and then work your way up. It's when you give yourself these unrealistic. It's like Kathy Woods, what I was saying with ARK Investments. She said Tesla is going to go to 4,000. Okay, that was an extreme, like an extreme level she gave. Why didn't she say maybe it will go to $500, maybe to 1,000, maybe like where did she get 4,000 out of? Where did she pull that out of? Like even to say Bitcoin is going to go to 1,000,000. Where are you pulling that out of? Bitcoin needs to get to 75,000 and to even get to 100,000. We got to take it level by level. Anyone can throw shit out there and just say, yeah, this is going to go to this amount, but if you have no evidence to back it up, it's just you're just working on hot air. It means nothing. So even if you as a trader give yourself realistic goals, you know, even if it's not money, maybe this week instead of saying you're going to make 1,000 pips, start off with a realistic pip goal. We always say 30 to 50 pips a day. 30 to 50. Some of you guys are nailing 30 to 50, no problem. Then increase it to 75 to 100. And if you can do that, then you can attach a lot size to it and figure out how much money you want to make at the end of the day. But give yourself some realistic goals. And that might take your trading a little further because now you have a little guidance. You got a little blueprint. You got something to look forward to. When you give yourself all these unrealistic goals, there's always going to be a letdown and you're going to be disappointed. Yeah, she was hyped, Kim, but if you look at the ARK Investments, how much it's dropped in value since she made those predictions. But she's picked it up. It's back to $51 a share. Okay, guys, so we didn't close below there. It's coming right back up. So let's see if NASDAQ can take out that high. And remember, guys, if it continues to drive, it's Friday afternoon. NASDAQ could possibly continue to drive, and you guys might witness a short squeeze on a Friday. We've had these multiple Fridays where it seems like like we're all saying to ourselves, it needs to sell off. It has to sell off. Everything is overbought. NASDAQ has to sell off. It doesn't need to sell off. NASDAQ can keep driving to new all-time highs. So if you're going to continue to trade, or if you have trailing stop losses, or if you're going with the market, maybe continue going with it until the sellers prove to you that they can close it below a critical level and then maybe push it down. Okay? But that's it for me, guys. I enjoyed today's call. We went over NASDAQ, we went over gold, we did an analysis on Bitcoin. Next week, everyone, is our boot camp. So right over here, guys, this is the boot camp. You have tonight and I think tomorrow to continue to sign up, because then it will be this promo code will expire. So not only do you get in the order flow boot camp, you also get a 3-month membership with us. That is normally $150 for 3 months. It's down to 100, so you save $50 there just on the 3-month plan with us, and that gets you the signals. You get to be put in the Discord community, the private Discord community with all of our snipers in there and all of our amazing moderators and admins and everybody in there. And you get to be part of all of the live sessions that we do, not just with myself, but with Dave, with Shahab and PK at SST. And you get part of all of the education we have of over 116 webinars, and we're going to be doing more, and everything that we do, all the previous boot camps and all of that. And you get to be part of the 3-day order flow boot camp, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday we'll come in for a live day at 8 to 10 when the futures market opens up. We'll talk about Bookmap. We'll talk about a little bit about it if you guys have some questions. So lots going on next week. This will be more and it will be played during the Tokyo session from 6 to 9 p.m. and it will come in Thursday for our 8 to 10 p.m. So that's, guys, if you want to join, there's your promo code. If you want an EA kill shot right over here, that's the last 15 trades we took on kill shot with the new set file update. You can take a look at everything here. This is what our signals look like to give you guys. We give you guys signals free in this free Telegram as well, so you guys can see. We're going to start maybe with some more crypto signals. And these are our links, guys. MQL5, tradepassing.com, our YouTube channel, and stocksnipertrading.com. But guys, thank you guys I've had a rough couple weeks. The last 3 weeks I've had strep throat, then pneumonia, and then I also had a family member in a car accident this week, and I been in and out and everything, and no rest, and just a lot of stress. But everything is getting better, thank God. And I just hope everybody has a great weekend. Spend the time with your family and friends, guys. Don't just be looking at charts all day. Take the time with family and friends, and we'll be back also next week. Stay tuned for the new schedule, and thank you guys for everything. All of you guys, SST, if you guys are going to continue in the Discord for Power Hour, have fun. There could be maybe the start of the double top right now at Power Hour. So you see how it came up, back down, came up, could not take out the high, and now we have a red bar coming down. So we need to maybe see some red candlesticks start to close below structure, and maybe if this point breaks this afternoon, we could potentially drop. But it could come down for a higher low and come back up and break out of here. Gold also, if you're watching gold, we might get a red bar close below here and might retest this level, maybe push down a little bit. So maybe Friday you might get a sell-off. We'll see. But overall, it's still very bullish. There might be a little pullback this afternoon, but trade with caution. Again, if you're selling, you are still counter trading. So be very, very careful, okay? So thank you everyone on YouTube for all of the likes, subscribes, everybody. Thank you guys on Zoom. I appreciate all of you guys. Have a fun, healthy, happy weekend, and Juma Mubarak, and we'll see you guys next week. Happy Friday, guys. Thank you guys. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to another live session of Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.